I have a question for you, and this could be very controversial. And when is it, and I'm talking to sharpeners now, some of you may be new to my channel, and maybe you're looking at getting into shear sharpening, but this affects you too. When is it that you do your extra best? Little bit more particular in sharpening shears. Which customer? Let's talk about that, and we're going to talk about this box of shears that just came in through the front door. So your answer, you know, typically from sharpeners I hear, oh, I do my best on every customer. I do my best on every customer. That's really not practical. They've got some really cheap scissors, they're a home stylist, they're whatever. You don't need to put the effort into that shear as you would others. And then some of people will answer, well, the very high quality shears, expensive shears, I put my best effort in. And yeah, I have to admit, I kind of might take a few extra steps on those. This bunch comes from a Vietnamese hair salon. And the woman that brought these in, I know her personally. I know she's very picky, as she says. And she's, you know, when she buys a lot of shears from us, some of these are our shears, and she's always bringing them back. I don't like this one, I don't like that one, this one, this, and so we usually end up swapping out for 3 times. I think this time when she came, I told her we have a 3-time limit for her, and she tells me that the ones in this bag is for Linda. And she says, I'm not picky. I'm easy to get along with. Linda is hard to get along with. And I said, where's Linda from? I said, she's from northern Vietnam. And she said, no, she's from central Vietnam. The customer brought these are from southern Vietnam. I guess we had there in Vietnam, they have the same feelings about north and south, maybe more so than we do. So I'm going to take a look at these. I'm going to put my extra effort. Some of these are very old, and they're cutting, mostly their customers are Asians and Asian hair. I'm not sure if I'm going to have you watch me sharpen some of these. Some of these aren't very expensive shears, but if I see something interesting, oh yeah, I do see something interesting. So before I do these customers, I went through and I flattened my stone, got it nice and good. I've got a brand new microfiber cloth, and I'm going to inspect these. I'm already seeing a problem on this one. You'll see crazy things out there, especially from people that are from other countries because they bought things in other countries. Yeah, this shear, this screw here, I have only seen that on Jaguar scissors. And this is not a Jaguar scissor. You see it's a split screw, but it's split on the side. That is super easy to break. It's a brass screw. You really need to use the German UFO tools to take that apart, because that's the one that fits in that slot exactly. So I'm going to be super careful with this one. It says Japan, and talking to the husband and wife that came by, they said there's a lot of scissors that are made in Vietnam that will say Japan on it. So these probably are not Japan, but they don't look too bad. And this one says Silk Cut Olivia Garden, which isn't very expensive shear. Stainless steel handmade. They're pretty much every shear is stainless steel, and pretty much every shear I think is handmade. Yeah, that's one thing I observe on this one. So I have to be very careful with that screw. So I might set those, and these are both convex edges. I find most of the Asian shears that come from the Asian stylists are convex edge. This one says, they actually brought me one. I sent it back to them. It was from one of their stylists in their salon. It said Martha Stewart on it. And we looked it up, and it was sold on Petco for, oh yeah, now this one's another crazy screw I'm going to struggle with. You see it's UFO here and UFO there. So that one I'm going to have to deal with. It says cobalt steel, AY55. We already looked it up. We couldn't find it on the internet. And the name on it is hard to see. It starts with an H. Looks like Hamirgo, Hamirgo, and it has some kind of drawing on it that looks like a flamingo. Hamirgo, maybe Hamirgo means flamingo in some other language. This is what I thought was amusing. It's stamped made in Japan, but the stamp goes onto the other blade, so it's not a very quality stamp. I have my doubts this is made in Japan. The other ones they have here, very skinny blade, and that's going to be a struggle with that screw. I always like to inspect what I'm going through. These are the wolf shears, made in Korea, and I don't come across them very often, but these are two wolf shears, and this one is too. So these are all three from Wolf Industries. The reason I don't come across them very often is because usually they're sold by people who have the twice as sharp or the Howler 2, and so they're servicing their own customers. So let's put those together. Those are convex as well. These two are Bonikas, so I know how to handle those, convex. And the last one in here, now this one, I don't even know if I want to show it to you. This one's crazy. Look at this. Have you ever seen anything like that? Gee, gosh. It's says Japan 5.5. Style 88 steel sword. I don't think, I told the lady, I said, I don't think these are coming from Japan. I don't think they would make anything that gaudy. She didn't know what the word gaudy meant. I think I used the word ugly, and she kind of agreed with me, but that's that one, so I'll be sharpening it. I'm going to turn off the camera. If I come across something interesting as I'm sharpening these, I'll just let you join me. So I have a lot of videos sharpening a lot of different shears, and we do private training online, in person, in groups. We're putting together our Sharpener's Jam, and I also want to announce I have a new book on how to start a business in sharpening hair scissors, and it's on Amazon and on my website. So I hope you'll join me on this journey in sharpening. Alright, I do see one that's interesting, and it's this one I showed you before that has the UFO on both sides. I'm going to show you a couple of ways we can do this. So basically you need to have a UFO tool on one side and one on the other. But how do you do it with just two hands? And I'm wearing gloves because I've been out of town and my hubby has taken me to a nice place for lunch, and I just want to keep my hands clean. It's not anything dangerous in here that I need to worry about. Now this idea, I'm trying to remember who showed me this idea. Somebody at the Sharpener's Jam. I'm using my Cymet clamp. Bring it up just a tad here. And I'm going to set it where it's at right angles. You see that? And I can bring in, I might need to move this out of the way. Tighten it down good. And I'll find the one that fits. This is 3 more styles. This is actually like the one I had, but the one I had is bent. So, be nice if that one fits. Yeah, that fits on that back side. So I can come in here, tighten that down. This goes here. These screws, if you can tighten them without taking them apart and just sharpen with them together, I think I would. Maybe what I'm going to have to do here, but this is one of those, this is that one that belongs to Linda, who's very picky. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. It's turning. Hope it's coming out. Yeah, it seems to be backing out. Let's see if I can get it with my fingers. There goes my phone. Well, that was a new twist on the spam calls on my phone. Now I can take this off with my fingers now. Let's put this in here. Not only do we get spam calls, but they steal, different companies will steal your phone number, which obviously that did. And then someone will call you back and say, I missed your call. This is crazy looking in here. Wait a minute, I've never seen this before. Let me zoom in and let you look at this. Look at this inside here. So now how does this come apart? Do I have to flip it over? And use this tool to take it out? Bizarro. Just when I think I've seen every type of screw out there, I come across something like this. So this comes out. You just have to watch what all you take out and assume the last person put it together right. Okay, that comes out here. There's a washer. 2 washers. They just popped out. Did they both come out of that same side? I don't know. And this comes out. Oh, there's 2 washers there. One of them broken. So I need I need another washer. Interesting. Well, let's sharpen it and let's hope I can put it back together. Put a comment below if you've ever seen anything like that. Let me grab another washer, but there was 2 washers on both sides and there's a broken one. I have people all the time asking me, where do you get washers from? And we sell them. There's places you could probably buy them cheaper, but not in like small quantities at a time. See, we divide them up because most people don't need, 100 of one size washer. Those look like about the same size, don't they? So I'm going to go with that one. I don't have them labeled, but our washers that we sell will be the millimeters on the outside and the millimeters on the inside. So you can order exactly what you want. So let's clean these up and sharpen them, and then we'll have the joy of putting them back together. Now, because this is an Asian customer and I know nothing about these shears, and I think it's the first time to sharpen them, I'm going to do a scratch test on them. I'll walk you through what I'm doing. If you want complete instructions, we have, we provide those for people that come for training, where I really go over all the details. But this one is a convex edge. marking it. As I said earlier, I just flattened my stone, so it's in good shape. It's a 2000 grit. Could use something finer since this is an Asian customer, but the 2000 seems to work pretty good. That looks good. Looks like they're an alignment. I don't stop and check them on an alignment bar, because when I do the ride line, if the ride line is nice and even and all the red is gone, I can pretty well guess they're going to be in alignment. If I'm seeing the ride line all over the place and part of the red's still there, I can guess they're probably out of alignment. Then I can guess whether it's worth working it. So I'm going to do a scratch test at a 50. Because if these really truly are Japanese, as I said, I have my doubts, but they really truly are, and I think this is some kind of word for flamingo, because I think that looks like a flamingo, this little design on here. Never seen these before, never saw that kind of screw before, which makes me think it might be a Vietnamese type of design and shear. They're making more and more shears in Vietnam. I know there's one American shear company that brings in some Vietnamese shears. So let's do the scratch test. 50. I think 50 will do it. Let's try it. There weren't any deep nicks, and this is a pretty skinny blade, so I don't want to take much metal off. No, I need to pop it down to 45. When they're cutting that really coarse Asian hair, they need a little bit sharper shear, they need a little bit better steel, and a lot of times they won't spend the money to keep that edge that they need, and then they blame us as sharpeners. I told the Vietnamese lady that came in, I said, it's sort of like a bald person coming in and they're wanting you to give them a really nice haircut. I said, you can only work with what you got. And she totally understood that and laughed. These are a little bit of a K-blade. This is one of those that refutes those videos or books or whatever about the 800 millimeter radius, because you can see these two shears have two different radii. One's almost straight, the other one has more of a curve. So the idea is that you follow the shape of that blade, create a small burr all the way down, and you'll follow the radius. While I'm doing these, I want to mention some of the people. I've been doing a lot of training lately, and some of the things that people have been telling me after their training might be of interest to you. Is one of them I just spoke to this morning, and he's in his 80s, and he had already been trained by someone else, and then he came to me, and he said what surprised him was what small little differences, little nuances made such a huge difference in the edge. And he said that the other thing was how small the burr was. He didn't really have a concept of that until he came in. The other thing he said is every time he sharpens a pair of shears for a salon and he cuts through that wet tissue and it cuts through beautiful, he says, "Thank you, Bonnie." And I told him I liked that. He was calling up this morning ordering my book. And I told him I would autograph it, but I got to get these sharpenings done because they're going to come by and pick them up. So that's one of the things I hear a lot. The people I just trained in Wisconsin, which I went to their, and the last two people I trained, I did it in their kitchens, which is kind of fun in their own environment. And both of them, one of them was a husband and wife, the other one was a father and son. They said they were surprised how easy it was. They thought it was going to be a lot more complicated. And they also enjoyed the challenge because every shear is different. I was really proud of the Lacey's in Chicago because I trained a father and son, and they're doing mostly groomers, and they sold a pair of my chunking scissors to a groomer, and she just loved them. Then she dropped them on the floor and bent them. Well, I don't, if you watch my videos, I don't get into bending much. I don't do much bending, and I don't teach a lot of bending. I kind of show them how, tell them they're on their own pretty much for that. But this shear, there was really nothing they could do but bend it, because they said it was like a 1/4 of an inch difference. So it was a Bonika shear. So I gave them permission. I said, if you bend it and it breaks, I'll cover it, I'll replace it. And they bent it, and it didn't break, and they sharpened it, and they were very happy with themselves. All right, now I've got to figure out how to put this back together. If you want to, I'll zoom in and let you watch with me. The trick on any of these crazy ones like this, so we're going to call this the Flamingo screw. Flamingo screw. Is to go backwards. Square peg goes in the round hole. So those type of things will help you. Looks like all the washers are pretty much the same. Here's the new washer. I might just try the new washer in here alone, because I think it's a little thicker than the washers they had. So square peg goes into the round hole. You may hear the radio in the background. Misty's out today again, and Gene is up there answering the phone. As long as he can stand it, he still has a way to go since his car accident. So I think this just screws in here. This may be easier to negotiate than I thought. Find one of these tools that fits. I'm not sure why anybody would design it this way. Well, that's just to drive us sharpeners crazy and give me an interesting video to do. See if I can turn it with my fingers a little ways first. Get it going. There we go. Spanner bit might be good for this. Some of our sharpeners have made things out of screwdrivers with a Dremel. Problem is there's so many different sizes. Just even on this one shear, you've got a different size on the two sides. Okay, that's there. Oh, there's the phone. Let's see if I have to go do something with it. And this had 2 washers. This is just wacky. Oh, it's for me. Coming! Alright, back from my phone call. That was my friend Robin. It was not a spam that time. She saw someone's video where they were cutting with 9-inch shears. So I just sold her an 8.5, and she's going to try this new technique. Talking about me coming up there where she is in West Virginia and sharpen, shoot some videos, and might have to just spend a week up there. Last time I was up there, I had a lot of fun with Robin. She's a great hairstylist. So I am just trying to see if I can finish putting this back together. Guess I'm going to have to go back to the clamp thing. I know this is a really boring video showing me piddling with these screws. But, I mean, I've been sharpening 30 years. This is the first time I've seen this screw. This is not typical of what you're going to have to deal with. It just is not. I'm going to put 2 washers in there. And maybe I need to put extra washers on this side. So that's as far in as that will screw. Please go together. I'm getting hungry for lunch. And Jean's taking me somewhere special for lunch. Maybe barbecue. I think that's where we're going. Foggy Bottom Barbecue. We're looking at places to have our sharpeners jam this next year. And we're looking at a place that's near Foggy Bottom Barbecue. And I think that would be awesome to have them cater our jam. Well, I can't give up. I gotta keep at it till I can do it. I'm gonna put a 3rd washer in here. What happened to that white washer I had? I don't know where it went to. I don't even see it in here. It's almost like there's a gap between this thing here and this top. What will I do if I can't put it together? Guess I could give it back, not make any money off of it. Alright, so that's looking better with the extra washer. That's adjusted right. And then let's just assume this is decorative. I think I got it. Well, remember when all those washers popped out? I thought some were from one side and some were from the other. But I think maybe all those washers were just from that one side. Have I got it? What you think? I'd like to send it back tighter than that, but I think I'm going to have to stay with this. Okay, let's see how it cuts after all that mess. It's dry. And I like what Eagle Eye, one of my commenters on YouTube, called this. He called this John Wayne toilet tissue. And see, it doesn't cut. And the reason why is that screw should be a little tighter. See, if I put side pressure, I can make it cut. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm going to leave well enough alone. We're going to call that done. Okay, off to lunch. That's the end of this video.